order that an acceptance of an offer can result in a contract, the acceptance must satisfy certain requirements. That is, acceptance should be communicated by the offeree to the offerer. Acceptance should be absolute and unqualified. Acceptance must be made in prescribed manner. Acceptance should be made during the subsistence of offer. Now, let's discuss these in detail. First, the acceptance must be communicated by the offeree to the offerer. A communication to any other person is as ineffectual as if no communication has taken place. In Feldhaus v. Bindley case, 1863, the plaintiff wrote to his nephew offering to buy his horse at a certain price, and added that if he heard no more about him, he would consider the horse to be his. The nephew did not reply, but told the defendant, an auctioneer who was selling his stock, that the horse was not to be sold. The defendant inadvertently sold the horse and was sued by the plaintiff, who claimed that the horse was his. It was held that the horse did not belong to the uncle, as the nephew had never communicated his acceptance of the offer. The case is also an authority for two further propositions. One of them is that the acceptance of an offer made should be communicated to the offerer himself or to the person he has authorized to receive the acceptance. A communication to a stranger, like the auctioneer in the above case, will not do. Secondly, an offerer cannot say that if no answer is received within a certain time, the same shall be deemed to have been accepted. Second rule, acceptance should be absolute and unqualified. Section 7.1, in order to convert a proposal into promise, the acceptance must be absolute and unqualified. Any departure from the terms of the offer or any qualification vitiates the acceptance, unless it is agreed to by the person from whom the offer comes. The illustration will explain it. If I offer to sell my watch to you for rupees 500 and you convey that you are willing to pay only rupees 400 for the same, there is no contract in this case. Your willingness to pay rupees 400 is not acceptance of my offer, but it is a counter offer by you. Once the original offer is destroyed by counter offer, it is a dead offer and cannot be accepted unless renewed. Acceptance should be of the whole of offer. The offer cannot accept a part of its terms which are favorable to him and reject the rest. Such an acceptance is another kind of counter offer and does not bind the offerer unless he agreed to the qualified acceptance. Similarly, a mere inquiry into terms of a proposal is not the same thing as an counteroffer. Third rule, acceptance in prescribed or usual manner. Where the proposal prescribes the mode of acceptance, it must be accepted in that manner. Where the proposal does not prescribe the manner, then it must be accepted in a reasonable manner. If the proposal does not insist on the proposal being accepted in the manner in which it has to be accepted. After it is accepted in any other manner not originally prescribed, the proposer is presumed to have consented to the acceptance. Sometimes the acceptor may agree to a proposal but may insist on a formal agreement, in which case, until formal agreement is drawn upon, there is no complete acceptances. We have seen that the acceptance of an offer requires more than a tacit formation of intention. There must be some overt act or speech to give evidence of that intention. But English law stipulates, in addition, the acceptance is not complete unless and until it is communicated to the offerer. Same is the position under Indian law. If the terms or the circumstances of the offer do not suggest a mode of acceptance, it seems the offeree would not be bound to this mode, so long he used any other mode which do not cause delay and which brought the acceptance to the knowledge of the offerer. A departure from the usual or suggested method of communication would probably throwing upon the offeree the risk that the acceptance would be delayed. But, subject to this, an offer delivered by hand could be accepted by post, or an offer made by post could be accepted by messengers sent by train. If, however, the offerer expressly indicates the method of communication, him to treat any departure acceptable to him or not. Where no manner of acceptance is prescribed, acceptance must be expressed in some usual and reasonable manner. Acceptance by post, telegram, telephone or through personal messenger is of course a very reasonable manner of acceptance. In England, the rule is that where an offer is received through post, acceptance may also be communicated by post. But in India, in view of the language of Section 7, post may be used as a mode of communication in all cases where it is reasonable, except when the offer requires a particular form of communication. Section 7(2) of the Indian Contract Act reads as, "The proposer may, within a reasonable time after acceptance is communicated to him, insist that his proposal shall be accepted in prescribed manner and not otherwise. But if he fails to do so, he accepts the acceptance." Fifth rule: acceptance should be made during the subsistence of offer. We have seen earlier that the offerer is free to withdraw the offer, or the offer is revoked under various circumstances mentioned in Section 6. After the offer has been withdrawn or has lapsed, there is nothing which can be accepted. It is therefore necessary that the acceptance should be made while the offer is still alive and subsisting. Acceptance after the lapse of the offer cannot give rise to a contract. Similarly, the offer is deemed to have ended by rejection of the original offer or a counter-offer.